There are stories so dark, so chilling, they make you question what's real and what isn't. What if I told you that the scariest things are not from movies or books, but real events that have left people haunted for life? Tonight, we dive into 10 terrifying true stories that prove reality is far scarier than fiction. You're watching Perfect Craving, the channel that satisfies your hunger for the unexplained. If you think you're ready, let's begin. Our first story takes us back to Christmas Eve, 1945. The Sauter family's house in Fayetteville, West Virginia, was engulfed in flames. Parents, George and Jenny, managed to escape with 4 of their children, but the other 5? They were never found. Strangely, there were no remains, no bones, no ashes, nothing to suggest they'd perished in the fire. A mysterious phone call, a missing ladder, and a cut telephone line only added to the puzzle. Decades later, the case remains unsolved, leaving the world to wonder. Did someone take the children? Or did something even darker happen? Fast forward to 1959. 9 experienced hikers embarked on a trek through the Dyatlov Pass in Russia's Ural Mountains. Days later, they were found dead under bizarre circumstances. Their tent had been slashed open from the inside. Some hikers were barefoot in sub-zero temperatures, and others had fatal injuries. Fractured skulls, missing eyes, even a tongue. Official reports blamed an avalanche, but conspiracy theories suggest something much darker. The death of Elisa Lam at Los Angeles Cecil Hotel in 2013 has puzzled and horrified investigators and the public alike. Elisa, a 21-year-old college student, was last seen on the hotel's elevator surveillance footage acting erratically. In the video, she presses multiple buttons, steps in and out of the elevator, and appears to hide or speak to someone unseen. Her behavior raised questions. Was she scared, hallucinating, or under the influence of something sinister? Weeks later, guests at the hotel complained about low water pressure and foul-tasting water. Maintenance workers discovered Elisa's decomposing body in the rooftop water tank. Her death was ruled accidental drowning, but the circumstances remain deeply unsettling. How did she access the tank, which required passing through locked doors and an alarm system? The case has sparked numerous theories, from mental health struggles to paranormal interference, and remains one of the internet's most discussed mysteries. In the 1930s, a Canadian fur trapper named Joe LaBelle was seeking shelter from the biting cold near Anjikuni Lake, a remote area in the Northwest Territories. LaBelle knew this region well and expected to find warmth and company in an Inuit village he'd visited before. But what he found was something out of a nightmare. When he arrived, the village was eerily silent. There were no people, no sounds of daily life, just an empty settlement buried in snow. Every hut and igloo was abandoned, but what chilled LaBelle most was that everything seemed frozen in time. Pots of food were left over fires that had long gone cold. Tools and weapons were untouched, as if the villagers had planned to return any moment. But they never did. As LaBelle searched for answers, he came across a horrifying sight. Sled dogs, used for transport, were found starved to death and frozen in place. These weren't animals left behind for days. They had been abandoned for weeks, if not longer. The story doesn't end there. When authorities arrived to investigate, they found something even more unsettling. A burial site near the village had been disturbed. The graves were empty, their stones overturned, as if someone or something had exhumed the bodies. So what happened to the villagers of Anjikuni Lake? Some suggest they fled into the wilderness after a natural disaster or attack. but no footprints or trails were ever found leading away from the village. The legend persists to this day, baffling researchers and terrifying those who hear it. What would drive an entire village to vanish into thin air? And why disturb the dead? We may never know the truth, but the mystery of Anjikuni Lake remains one of Canada's most chilling unsolved cases. The Dybbuk box, a small, unassuming wooden wine cabinet, is reputed to house a malevolent spirit from Jewish folklore. The box gained notoriety after appearing on eBay in 2003, accompanied by a terrifying backstory. Its owner claimed that anyone who interacted with the box experienced intense nightmares, health problems, and strange, unexplainable phenomena like mysterious odors and shadowy apparitions. One notable incident involved a man whose mother suffered a stroke after opening it. The box's origins are shrouded in mystery, but its reputation as a cursed object has grown with every new owner's horrifying experiences. Today, it resides in a museum under protective glass, where visitors report feeling uneasy and ill after being near it. Some dismiss the Dybbuk box as an elaborate hoax, but for those who've encountered it, the terror is all too real. The Flannan Isles, a group of remote Scottish islands, became infamous in 1900 when 3 Lighthouse Keepers mysteriously vanished. Relief workers arriving to replace the men found the lighthouse in disarray. One chair was overturned and clocks had stopped. The logbook revealed bizarre entries, including one describing a massive storm that had frightened the keepers, despite no records of such a storm occurring in the area. Theories about the men's disappearance range from a rogue wave sweeping them away to foul play or even supernatural forces. Yet no definitive evidence has ever surfaced. In the late 1970s, the Hodgson family of Enfield, London, claimed their modest home was under siege by a violent poltergeist. Furniture moved on its own, knocking sounds echoed through the house, and the young daughter, Janet, was said to levitate. Investigators recorded voices and other phenomena, with one of the most eerie being Janet speaking in a deep, guttural tone, claiming to be an old man named Bill Wilkins, who had died in the house years earlier, while skeptics accused the family of fabricating the events. The case remains one of the most well-documented hauntings in history. Eyewitness accounts from police officers and journalists add credibility to the story, leaving many to wonder whether the Enfield Poltergeist was a hoax or a genuine brush with the supernatural. The Hinterk Murders remain one of Germany's most haunting unsolved crimes. In 1922, 6 members of the Gruber family were bludgeoned to death on their isolated Bavarian farmstead. Investigators discovered chilling clues. Days before the murders, the family had heard footsteps in their attic and found footprints leading to the house, but none leading away. Even more unsettling, the killer likely stayed on the farm for days after the murders, feeding livestock and eating meals. Despite extensive investigations, the case remains a chilling testament to the unknown horrors that can lurk in our midst. In Taos, New Mexico, residents have reported hearing a persistent, low-frequency hum that seems to have no identifiable source. First reported in the early 1990s, the hum is described as a droning, mechanical sound that's audible to only a small fraction of the population. For those who hear it, the sound causes headaches, insomnia, and a deep sense of unease. Scientists have investigated potential explanations, from industrial noise to seismic activity, but no conclusive source has been found. Theories range from psychological phenomena to secret military operations, but with no definitive answers, the Taos hum continues to mystify and torment those who hear it. The Mary Celeste, an American brigantine, was discovered adrift in the Atlantic Ocean in 1872, with its crew mysteriously missing. The ship was fully stocked with provisions, and its cargo of alcohol was intact. Personal belongings were untouched, and there were no signs of violence or struggle. The ship's lifeboat was missing, but why the crew abandoned a seaworthy vessel remains a mystery. Theories about the Mary Celeste range from mutiny and piracy to natural phenomena like waterspouts. Some even speculate paranormal or extraterrestrial involvement. Despite extensive speculation, the fate of the crew remains unknown, cementing the Mary Celeste as one of the world's most famous maritime enigmas. Which of these chilling stories shook you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Perfect Craving. Until next time, stay curious and keep craving the truth. And if you want to know some strange internet mysteries, click on this video.